Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I'm feeling much better this week. Still just a tiny bit congested, but I'm much better. Interestingly as well, I mean, I'm wearing makeup so you can't really tell, but my skin has been really bad the last couple of weeks. But since I've been ill and recovered, it's all cleared up and I'm looking great again. So that's it. Well, it's debatable whether I'm looking great, but I definitely appreciated it because my skin was so bad that my makeup was patchy. Like I couldn't do anything to make my face look nice. But that seems to be good as well. So this week I have not started a book yet since I finished Maybe Not at the end of last week's vlog. I do have a couple of things in mind for this week. I just have two goals really, to be honest. I'm only reading one book off my Bookopoly TBR this week. That's all I have planned. But before I get into that book, I think I'm going to carry on and continue with Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This was the last book that I picked up in February for my Bookopoly TBR, and I didn't get around to finishing it because I was feeling a little bit slumpy and only wanted to read romance. So I made it to page 75 in this. This is a young adult kind of campy sci-fi story that follows a crew of teenagers who most of them have just graduated from flight school. Our main character is Tyler and he is destined to finish at the top of his class in flight school. He's the most gifted pilot they have. However, he's late to his graduation ceremony, and that means that instead of being able to pick his crew from the cream of the crop, he has to pick from the dregs. And I'm guessing they go on a space adventure. There's a girl in this called Aurora who has been recovered from the wreckage of a ship that left Earth over 200 years ago, and she was supposed to be heading towards a colony, but something happened along the way and the ship never made it, and she has been in cryostasis since then until Tyler rescued her. So I'm guessing the adventure they go on is going to be something to do with her and her predicament. But I'm pretty much just at the point where I've met all of the crew and they haven't even left to go on whatever adventure they're going on yet. While finishing Aurora Rising is a priority, my main priority for the week is going to be to read Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is the book for March for my book club, the Catch Up Book Club. In 2020 we're reading the first 6 books in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling series. I believe at this moment that the live show for this is going to be on April 4th at 8 PM UK time. Now, daylight savings in the UK is March 29th, so the time zone that we will be on is BST, not GMT, as we're currently on now. And I believe that the US actually just had their daylight savings, so they will be on the summer time zone as well. So I won't tell you too much about this one, one because I don't really know that much about it, and two because I'm not reading it yet. But this is an adult epic fantasy. Robin Hobb is a prolific fantasy author, and all I know about this is that it follows a guy, I think he's called Fitzwilliam Chivalry, which is a fancy name, and he is the bastard son of the king and he has access to the magic of the royal family. So I believe he's trained as an assassin, and that's all I know about this. Really looking forward to this. Everybody who started it so far also seems to be really enjoying it, although I do believe it is a little bit slow. And I haven't mentioned it in a video, but we do have a Discord for Elderling Long now, which I will link in my description box. So if you are participating, want to get in on the chat, then head down there. I did announce it on Twitter, which is the main go-to for all of the catch-up book club stuff, but we do have a Discord and it is pretty active actually. People are enjoying discussing this book, so you can join them if you would like, and me as well. I haven't been active in there because I'm not reading the book, but I will be jumping in there this week. So this morning I'm actually trying out something new. It is around 10:30 at the moment, and a couple of weeks ago I did mention that being self-employed was getting me down a little bit because my lack of routine was not, I don't want to say it was affecting my mental health because I've been okay, although I haven't been at my best, but just the lack of routine has been taking its toll on me and making me feel really inadequate. So last night I decided that I'm going to fix it this week, and at the minute I'm trying out scheduling out my days. So this morning I woke up at around 8:45. I made a cup of coffee. I scheduled 30 minutes to respond to some comments, which is something that I've been really struggling finding the time for with a new routine. Before I became self-employed, I used to do it at work on my lunch, and I would do like a solid 20 minutes then. But since then, because I'm out of that routine, I always find it really difficult to adjust to new routines. Like, I've hardly watched BookTube in 3 months because the normal time slot when I would do it, it is no longer existing. So I spent 30 minutes this morning responding to some comments. I then got dressed, I put makeup on, I got ready for the day as though I was going out somewhere to do something. I'm currently in the middle of spending 2 to 3 hours working solidly. Now I say 2 to 3 hours because I'd rather do 3, but I'm gonna get hungry at some point. But I am currently editing last week's vlog. My mouse on my Mac has just died, so I'm just gonna give it like 20 minutes and hoping that it gets enough life in it to last me till lunchtime. So I'm gonna spend 3 hours doing that, and then I'm gonna take an hour for my lunch. I'm hoping that this helps a little bit. I did actually, this is really weird, but I did used to schedule my free time when I was around like 21 to 24ish, because I have so many hobbies. Even then, before YouTube, I had so many hobbies, and wow, this lighting is grey. I like cross stitching, obviously I like reading, I like video games. So when I got home from work, I used to schedule it out and be like, right, you'll spend 2 hours doing this, and then you'll spend 2 hours doing that, and then you'll spend 2 hours doing this, so that I could fit all of my hobbies into one day. So it is a system that has worked for me before. I'm hoping it works for me again, but in a more professional manner, because I'm sick of feeling inadequate, and I'm also hoping that if I schedule out this time, then I will feel more accomplished, because I'm finding that I'm getting to the end of my day and I feel like I haven't accomplished anything, even though I've pretty much spent all of my day working. And so I feel like if I schedule 3 hours out to work and I know that I'm working solidly for those 3 hours, like I don't think I'm gonna get this vlog edited in 3 hours. If I know that I spent 3 hours working on that, then I can't say that I didn't do anything, because I spent 3 hours of my day solidly working on it. So that's the aim anyway. I hope it works out for me. I'm in the office tomorrow and I'm in the office on Thursday, but on the days when I'm not out working, I'm gonna try that out and see what happens. But that is about it for my rambling for now. Probably gonna respond to some emails while I wait for my mouse to get a bit of charge in it, and then crack on with editing that vlog, which I have a lot of footage for and I'm struggling.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. Well, we fell apart just in time. You say at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. I drive from your place, miss your lips, but I hate the taste. No fun in this game. I will call our bluff, 'cause using bodies isn't good enough. Slow down, this ain't love. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. We keep playing games, can't go separate ways, break up all the same. We keep playing games, can't go separate ways, break up all the same. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky.
Hey guys, so I'm checking in with you from this angle. This is an angle that I never film in, and the reason why is because I really hated the broken blinds in my background, and I put my curtains up today so we have no more shabby broken blinds. I just really hated it if I ever had a shot when my back was to the window. And first of all, they were red, so they didn't match anything in the room apart from like one blanket I've got, which is a Nevernight blanket, and also they were broken. So in the daytime there was always one that was stuck down, and at nighttime there was always one that was stuck up. So I could never have like my window blocked. But now I've got blackout curtains and I love it. I love them. I have also just ordered a rug. I tweeted a few days ago, I said that it's been 6 months and I still can't afford curtains and a rug. First off, when I actually looked at curtains, I decided the other day, I think it was Monday, I just decided I was just going to buy curtains because I've needed them for so long and I just keep not doing it. At this moment in time, coronavirus has just literally about 10 minutes ago been declared a global pandemic. That probably means that BookCon isn't happening. I was actually going to go to BookCon. I didn't tell anyone, I didn't tell you guys in case I couldn't afford to go, but me and Ashley were actually thinking about booking it this weekend, and I haven't spoken to Ashley today because she's at work. But today E3 has been cancelled, which is the huge gaming convention. Like E3 is a big deal, and that's only happening in June. The Northern Literature Festival has been postponed until autumn, I think, today, so that isn't happening. That was supposed to happen next week, so I'm pretty much assuming at this moment that BookCon isn't happening. So I've dipped into my BookCon fund, and I also purchased a rug because I did tweet a couple of days ago that it's been 6 months and I still can't afford curtains and a rug. Essentially the reason for that is that I have still been saving money and I have still been making money. It's just I was trying to gather as much money as I could to go to BookCon. Probably not going to go to BookCon now. If BookCon is all good, I can still go. I still have the money to go. It's just saving my money and not touching it is less of a priority now because it's looking unlikely, which is sad because I was really going to go. Last year I got a press pass for Book Expo, but I didn't have anybody to go with me, so I decided not to go. This year I was supposed to be going with Ashley, and coronavirus has ruined my plans. So I do have a rug on the way. That is arriving tomorrow, but I won't be home tomorrow, so I may only get it on Friday. But I'm excited because this room is nearly done then. I just need to put some shelves in my alcoves, which is a whole other issue. But I am feeling a little bit more confident about it now since I put up curtains. I used a power tool. I screamed the entire time, but I used a power tool. Anyway, that was a huge tangent that you guys didn't need to know. I'm here mainly because I received this beautiful package today, and I was very confused at first on what it was, but I do actually know what this is. But before that, I will just give you a little bit of an update on Aurora Rising. The other day I said that I couldn't really tell you too much about this. Aside from that, it follows this crew who are led by Tyler, who is this golden boy who's pretty much great at everything he does, but because he's late to his graduation ceremony, he ends up with a crew that are literally the bottom of the barrel. And that was all I knew about it. I do know a little bit more now. So in the first chapter of this book, we do start off with Tyler being late to his ceremony, and the reason that he's late is because he comes across the wreckage of a ship that left Earth over 200 years ago and was on its way to a destination in space, to a new colony. This was pretty much at the time where humans had only just started to venture out into space and actually find it habitable. Tyler stumbles upon this wreckage, and in there are thousands of people in cryostasis or something similar. They're all dead apart from one, and the one that is alive is a girl called Aurora, and he saves her, which is why he's late. Now, some things are happening in the politics of this galaxy that I don't really understand too much, to an extent, but essentially Aurora is taken back to the Aurora Academy, and there she is kind of nursed back to health a little bit and is awaiting the humans or the Terrans of the galaxy to come and collect her. However, it is assumed that the humans aren't actually going to rehabilitate her. They want her dead for some reason. So because of that, Aurora does escape with little help from a few of the people in Aurora Academy, and she ends up stowing away in Tyler's ship. And when they reach the destination of their first mission, they discover that she's there, and that kicks off a whole chain of crazy events because Aurora is behaving rather strangely, and they end up on this wild goose chase mission to find out why she's behaving strangely, even though she doesn't even know herself. So I am really enjoying this. It has the same J. Kristoff, Amy Kaufman humor that I really enjoy. It also has great characters like Illuminate does. I like all of the characters in here. I really like Cal. Cal is one of my favorites, and my other favorite was actually Kat, but she is the most negative member of this crew, and I'm now at the point where the way that she's being so negative about everything is kind of annoying me. So I would say that my other favorite character, if Kat's going to continue to be annoying, is probably Finn. I like Finn as well. As you would expect from J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, this also has a lot of diversity in it. We have racial diversity, we have sexual orientation diversity, and we also have disability representation in here as well. It has laugh out loud funny moments. I love the characters' dynamic and I love their banter. I'm currently on page 280. I'm not sure whether I'll finish it tonight. I would like to, but I would say that's probably unlikely. I'll probably finish this tomorrow. But I have had not a lazy day by any means, but I have had a weekend type day today. I pretty much said that I'm not going to work on YouTube at all today, apart from vlog stuff, because I posted 4 videos in a row and I've already filmed, edited and uploaded my video for tomorrow. So I'm taking a day off. I'm not touching it at all. My fragrance oils for the Crescent City release are arriving tomorrow. So today I've just done life stuff. I put up my curtains. I was supposed to clean the house today, but the curtains took me like 2 hours and then I had to run errands, and I also finally framed that Samantha Shannon print. So I've kind of done stuff more than maintenance. Like, I've actually got back into continuing to make my house a home, and it's actually been really refreshing. This evening I'm going to play some World of Warcraft. As soon as I'm done talking to you guys, I'm gonna go and make dinner, and I think I'll spend my evening playing World of Warcraft and reading. This hasn't happened in a long time. It has been a long time since I have been able to spend a full day not doing anything YouTube related and not doing anything candle related. And even though I've been doing bits here and there, it feels good. While it hasn't been a like lazy day by any means, I feel really good. And another thing, actually, on Monday I told you guys that I was trying to schedule my day to get a little bit more routine into my life. I was trying to wake up at a certain time. Over the last few weeks, maybe even over the last 2 to 3 months, I have been feeling incredibly anxious. Anxiety and feeling anxious is not something that I'm too familiar with. It's not something that is common for me at all. But I have not been feeling myself, and even making videos, which is something that normally takes me away from any problems I have and gives me something to focus on, has been a source of anxiety for me. Honestly, I know it's only Wednesday, but I know myself, and when I start to feel anxious or when I feel like my depression may be setting in a little bit, I usually know what it is that's wrong with me. And I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that lack of routine in my life was really fucking with me, and I swear to God, since I have been getting up before 9 AM every morning this week, I have not felt shit once. And I know this stuff doesn't work for everybody. I know that there's not such a quick fix for everybody who's experiencing similar things to me, but for me, I tend to know what the problem is. I just struggle with my own stubbornness and my own laziness to actually do something about it. But waking up before 9 AM is just working miracles on me. I'm so much more productive, I'm so much happier, and yeah, it's really weird. But anyway, time to open this. This is from Kelsey Sutton. Kelsey Sutton is an indie author that emailed me and asked if I would review her book. Now, I do get a lot of emails from authors asking me to review their work if they're self-published, and I don't like to accept them because I only request advanced review copies and I only accept advanced review copies if I can guarantee I'm actually going to be able to read and review the book before release. Now, with self-published stuff, I get so many emails and I just can't guarantee that I'm actually going to read and review those books. I would love to be able to do it. I would love to be able to give all of the indie authors that drop into my inbox the publicity for their work, but I can't physically do it. So I only really accept the ones that are super interesting and that the synopsis just makes me desperate to read them. And this is the first indie book that I have actually accepted, and I am so excited to read these. So they came wrapped in tissue paper. Honestly, I love this packaging. Let's have a look at these. I'm so excited. Okay, so these are 2 books in Kelsey's series. They are published under the name KJ Sutton. I do believe that Kelsey is a traditionally published children and young adult author, but these are adult books. I believe that this one is the first book. It's called Fortuna Swan, and this one is the sequel. This one is called Restless Slumber. Now, the reason that I accepted these, the reason that these appeal to me so much, is that these are dark fae romance. And in the email, it did say at the bottom that these books contain a lot of swearing and a lot of sex. So if that is something that I wouldn't be comfortable with, then it's okay to like reject the request. But you guys know that is exactly what I love. So the synopsis of this is that we follow a woman, I think she's called Fortuna Swan, and she is the last of her kind, but her kind has been designed to be incredibly appealing to humans. Now, for some reason, her brother left, and since then she has been the only one of her kind. She has no family, she has no place in the world. So since then, she has been hiding amongst humans, she has been working in a bar, and she has been looking for somebody especially powerful who can help her, which is when she comes across a very powerful fairy. He thinks that Fortuna is especially desirable, and in exchange for her, he offers her something that she cannot resist. Now, I believe that this is a dark romance. This is also a fairy romance. I so wholeheartedly hope that I love these books, because can you think of a book, can you think of a synopsis that sounds any more perfect for me? Because I honestly can't. These just sound amazing. The covers are absolutely beautiful as well. I can't get over how amazing these look. I am going to try and read these sometime soon. This is quite small. This one's a little bit chunkier, but this one is quite small. It's less than 300 pages actually, so there's a very big possibility that I could fit this into this month. I only have 3 Bookopoly books left. I'm hoping to knock one out this week, one out next week, and one in the last week of March. So yeah, there's a possibility that I could read this month. I definitely hope I can. If not, I will definitely read this in April, but I guess my initial plan is to try and read this month and then follow up with this one next month. So excited for these. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for sending these my way. I really think I'm gonna love them, and I'm really excited to get into them. Hey guys, good morning. I'm having a bit of a nightmare day today. The work that I do that isn't candle making, I ordered stock last Monday or Tuesday, and it is like my main stock. It is literally the base of 90% of the products that I make. I ordered it last Monday, and normally it's within 2 to 3 days I receive the stock. I was running low on items, so I ordered this stock. It's now the following Thursday, and they are only just due to be delivered today. I emailed the company on Monday and I said, can I have these items by Tuesday? And they said that they'd run out of material, and the company that they order from had run out of material. So it's just waiting on all of these things so that I can have my items. And they told me that they would manufacture the item on Tuesday, ship it out, and I would have it yesterday. Well, it's now Thursday, and they've sent it with a courier that they stopped using because that courier only delivers between 4 and 6 p.m, and that's just not okay. So it is around 11 a.m. now. I've decided to stay home during the morning and go in the afternoon, because in the next hour or so my rug is going to be delivered, and I'm very excited for that. I don't want to miss that delivery. So, oh, Curtis is just coming in, so hold that thought. So I really didn't want to miss my rug delivery in case any of the neighbours can't take it, because it is quite large. But soon there will be a sea of yellow behind me instead of all of this lamina, and I'm very excited because, as you can see, the previous owners of the house had a rug down with rug grippers, and it's left dirty marks all over the floor. And also, a rug will just be easier to clean than laminate, because sweeping this thing is a bitch. So I haven't finished Aurora Rising yet. I'm on page 365, so I'm definitely going to have that done today. But the reason I'm here is that a Waterstones parcel arrived, and I was really confused about this. I was getting ready to shout at Gavin for sending me stuff when my group chat started blowing up, because Gavin had also received books, and it turns out that this is from Ashley. She said there is another one on the way because they ship them separately. Now, with my wish list being closed at the minute, I literally have no idea what is in here. I mean, she knows some of the books that I want. I don't know whether it'll be what I'm thinking, but let's have a look what she sent me. Oh, The Dead House. It is upside down. Okay, so this is The Dead House by Dawn Kurtovich. I wanted this. Why did I want this? I don't remember. It says 25 years ago, Elmbridge High School burned down. 3 students were killed in the blaze, 20 were injured, and 1, Carly Johnson, disappeared. For 2 decades, little was uncovered about what became known as the Johnson incident until now. I feel like I was having a discussion with Ashley about this, and it has something in it that I really like in books, and I don't remember what that was. I don't remember. No, I'm gonna have to message her. I have noticed that there is some mixed media in this, and then the pages do deteriorate in some of the elements. So I reckon this is it because it's case files? It could be because it's case files. I don't think she's around at the moment, so she's not replying to me. But I do know that I wanted to read this. I just can't remember which specific element about it, which is what made me want to read it. So thank you so much, Ashley, for sending this my way. And yeah, I don't know what the other thing she's sending me is, but I'm assuming it will be here tomorrow, but then so will Ashley. I don't think I've mentioned, or maybe I did. Ashley will be here. I finished Aurora Rising. I did not expect this to punch me in the chest at the very end. I didn't expect to feel those emotions this evening. Later in the series, everything may turn out all right. I was kind of going off Amy Kaufman, J. Kristoff's track record for how they end books and how they wrap up character arcs. So I did not expect the end of this. I mean, there is still time for them to do their usual thing, which I know I'm not talking about it, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, either in this or in the Illuminate files. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting the emotions at the end of this, and I'm just a little bit shocked. I didn't see it coming. So I gave this 4 stars overall. I did rate this really highly. I use G from Book Rose Corpile system. I'll link her video down below. But essentially you assign each element of the book a numerical value. And I did rate this really highly. There are 6 categories in Corpile, and I rated it 9 out of 10 on 4 elements and 8 out of 10 on 2 elements. But it did come out as a 4-star overall. But I really loved this book. I was expecting to be disappointed by it in comparison to the Illuminate files, but it was definitely solid. I loved all of the characters in here. I do have my favorites, but there's not a single main character that I don't like. I thought the plot was strong. It was a little bit campy. You guys said it's like a campy and good old sci-fi, but it was nowhere near as campy as I expected it to be. I would consider this a strong book. I really enjoyed it. The plot has some conveniences. It's a little bit out there, but coming up to the end of this, like where the conflict is coming to a head, it has that feel of a complete ride or die moment, you know, in like your epic fantasy where you have your band of say 5 warriors as they face a battlefield full of the enemy forces, and it's a complete ride or die moment where your favorites could meet an awful fate, but you know, they're the heroes of the story. It had those kind of elements, and I could almost hear like the orchestra playing in the distance at the end of this. I thought it was a very strong start to the series. I've just put in a review request for Aurora Burning. I know that they sent out the art copies of those quite early, so I'm not overly optimistic that I'm going to get one, because I did try and get an arc recently for Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman, but I requested it too late. The thing with me, I think I mentioned it yesterday, is that I only accept books, or I only request books when I have the intention of reading and reviewing them before release. So when Aurora Burning first came up for request for the review copies, I didn't request one because I hadn't read this, and at that time, with me not having read this, I couldn't guarantee that I would be able to get a review up before publication. And I know a lot of people don't do that. For a lot of publishing companies, it is more than enough for a reviewer to say, hey look, this book's coming out soon, you should check it out. But I don't do that. I don't want to tell you guys that something's not necessarily good, because I wouldn't say it was good, but I don't really want to tell you guys you should buy something that I haven't read. So I have just requested Aurora Burning. I hope it comes in, because the ending of this was a little bit intense. It didn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger, so I'm not super desperate. I can wait until May. Aurora Burning is actually released on my birthday on May 5th, but I would very much like to read it because I really love the characters in this. One thing I will say that this includes, that I was surprised about, is it includes some of my favorite things in fiction, but not this type of fiction. It has hot elves. You guys probably know that if you've seen the cover of Aurora Burning, and mating bonds, but it's set in space, and that's something that I haven't experienced before, but I stan it in this. With it being this kind of book, if you're familiar with J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, the romance elements in it weren't the most realistic. They weren't like the gut-wrenching emotional things that I kind of live for, but you know, hot space elves. I'm sold. You guys know me, I'm a simple girl with simple tastes. So I finished this. I feel like my discussion on this book hasn't been particularly in-depth or eloquent, but I am going to be filming my mid-month wrap-up tomorrow morning before Ashley gets here. I was supposed to film it tonight, but I couldn't be bothered, to be fair. So that should have been the last video on my channel before this vlog. So if you would like to hear me talk a little bit more in depth on Aurora Rising, then check that out. I mean, at this point, I'm assuming I spoke a little bit more in depth on it, but I feel like I need a little bit of time to gather my thoughts on that book to discuss it as a whole, because I do feel like my reading experience overall has been quite disjointed on it. One thing I will say about that book, and it's one of the things I gave it an 8 on as opposed to a 9, is that whenever I picked that book up, it did take me a chapter or so to really get sucked into the story, but when I was in it, I was absolutely loving it, and I was turning pages and I was reading it so quickly and flying through it, but I almost never wanted to pick it up. So that's like the one downside of that book. I did find it compelling when I was reading it, but I had no interest in picking it up, which is strange because it's a good book and I really liked it, but that's just how it be. So I am going to bed now. It is around midnight. I'm gonna braid my hair because it is like matted into damp clumps right now, which is very attractive, I know. But before I go to sleep, I am going to try and read a chapter of Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This one is on my Bookopoly TBR to read an adult fantasy. This is also the March book for Elderlingalong, which is phase 2 of the Catch Up Book Club. I'm really excited to get into this. People have said it's slow. Also, the text is so tiny. I did want to have this done by this week, but with Ashley being here, it's unlikely it's going to happen unless she wants to get some reading done, because I know she hasn't read too much this month. I kind of explained to you the extent of my knowledge on this on Monday, so I won't really go into it until I actually can tell you what this book is properly about. But I'm really excited for it. I've read a lot of romance recently, and now that I'm out of that romance binge, I just want to read some epic fantasy. I want sword fights, I want ride or die moments, I want heroes on the edge of death and then just slaying in the last moment. So I'm not sure how much of the kind of vibe I want this is going to give me. I definitely think it's going to give me epic fantasy vibes because it is epic fantasy, but I know that it's quite slow paced. I haven't been active in the Discord because I haven't started this yet, but I have seen a couple of people popping up in my notifications saying that the writing is quite dry. I know a lot of people really love this series, so I would say that at some point it must get kind of emotive and character driven and really pull you in. We'll see. I literally have no idea what to expect going into this, but I'm going to go and get in bed. I may make a cup of lemon tea, but I'm going to get in bed and make a start on this one, and I'll bring you guys an update when I can give you some information on the plot of this. I'm just drinking my coffee. It's a little bit late in the morning. It's 11 AM, but I have been on a wild goose chase today looking for a parcel that Royal Mail had said that they had delivered, but they hadn't because there was nobody home. So I went to the sorting office. Turns out I'm the dumb bitch that had it delivered to my dad's, and my dad had forgot to tell me, so I had to hightail it over there, which is an hour round trip, and I haven't seen my dad for a couple of weeks, so I spent half an hour there, saw my pooch. Now I'm finally back home. I do need to film my mid-month wrap-up. Ashley is on her way to my house. Hopefully I'll be able to get that filmed before she gets here, but I mean, she can sit and wait for me if I don't. But speaking of Ashley, my second gift from her arrived today. I don't know what it is, like with the last one, but I thought I would just pop in quickly and open this up for you guys. This is a tight parcel. It's Confess by Colleen Hoover. This was actually on my Amazon wishlist, and I really love the addition of this. I've just put my makeup on, so I shouldn't really be touching it because it's quite pale, but it's like a matte embossed cover. I believe that this is one of the Colleen Hoover books that is in the same kind of tone as Ugly Love, November 9, and It Ends With Us. And this one follows a girl called Auburn. It says she's lost everything important to her, and she meets an artist called Owen. So I'm gonna say it's a romance between those two. As usual with Colleen Hoover, I'm expecting it to be very angsty and a lot of drama in here. Thank you so much, Ashley. I'm currently building my Colleen Hoover collection, especially my Colleen Hoover new adult romance collection. As you guys know, I've just come off a romance kick, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get through this soon. So thank you so much, Ashley. You didn't need to send me gifts. You really didn't, but you know that anyway, but you did it, so thank you. So I'm gonna go and finish drinking my coffee, and I'm also gonna go and get that video filmed so that it's out of the way, and do a little bit of last minute tidying before Ashley turns up.
Are you okay? I made it to Becca's house. She's currently flailing on the floor. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what's going on over here. Are you okay?
I'm trying to do some artistic B-roll, but I can't see. There we go. Okay.
I
Okay, take two.
Oh, now I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day.
Hey guys, so it's around 9:30 on Sunday evening, and I have not really done a very good job of vlogging over the weekend. Ashley was here, as you guys know. I told you that she was coming, and I don't think I actually have any vlog footage with her in. This week has been interesting in terms of a vlog, or in terms, I guess in terms of my life, because the vlog is just documenting what I'm doing, because I've actually had a really great week in terms of getting stuff done and feeling great. Like, I have been very productive this week. You guys saw all of the things I was doing with the curtains. I also did a lot of cleaning, got myself a rug, which I'm loving, by the way. It's great to be able to sit on the floor without the hard wood like digging into my legs. I also framed a print that I've been meaning to frame for years. I did finish one book, I started another book, I went to work. I think I went into the office twice last week. I made 25 candles over the weekend and packed like 15 orders. So in terms of getting stuff done and having a variety of elements in my life and enjoying myself and just feeling better than I have the last couple of months with just not feeling 100% myself, I have had a really great week. However, in terms of reading, I have not been doing so well. I finished Aurora Rising at a reasonable pace, like that was fine. But since I started Assassin's Apprentice, I have not really been reading at all. Now, that is very much because Ashley was here this weekend. We have had such a nothing weekend. Like, as gross as it sounds, we pretty much spent the entire weekend sat here on the floor with like really messy hair, no makeup on, and we've both been having like a bad skin breakout over just like the last couple of days. So we've literally been sat here with no makeup, just like slathered in Sudocrem to try and take the swelling down. So it was not a vlog happy weekend, I would say. It was not a good time for making content, but we had a really chill time, and I know that that was nice for me to take things a little bit slower because I have been productive this weekend. I made candles, packed orders, I filmed and edited a video, but I've also just been taking life a little bit slower, and it has felt really damn good. So in terms of reading, I started this on Thursday night before bed. I read one chapter, and then when Ashley was here, the entirety of Ashley being here, I read 14 pages, and I currently just finished chapter 2, so I'm on page 48 of this, so not really too much at all. Because of that, I can't really tell you what the plot of this is about, but I do believe that it is one of those books that doesn't really have much of a plot until much later in the book. But so far in this book, we are following Fitz Chivalry, who is the bastard son of a prince, and there's some very strange circumstances surrounding this actually, because he is essentially dumped at the door of the keep by his grandfather on his mother's side, and he says, I've had enough of this child. He now needs to go to the person who he belongs to, his father. So the keep take him in, and they go to take him to his father, who is next in line for the throne. However, just before Fitz gets to the keep, his father decides that he's abdicating the throne, and he just disappears. So Fitz is now actually in the care of the man who was looking after Fitz's father's hounds, horses and hawks. And Fitz is growing up in this environment. He's being, I would guess, like a typical boy. He's hanging around with the children of the town, causing trouble, and he has an affinity for animals. He can connect with them in their mind. They are like one entity. He knows what the animal is feeling, and the animal knows what he is feeling. Now, this, I believe, is going to be Fitz's power. I don't really know too much about it yet, because this is like a coming of age fantasy telling Fitz's life story, and at the point in the story where I'm at, he is only 9 years old. That is the extent of where I'm up to. I believe that this has quite an intricate political plot line when it gets going, but with this being a coming of age story, I am only expecting that to really come in towards the end, and the majority of this book being the setup of the world and Fitz's character. I will say that's something I did not think about when going into this series, because I wasn't actually aware. With this series being about animal magic, it has animals in it, and with it being a high fantasy, the animals are not always treated in the best way. So if you are sensitive to things like animal deaths, like I am, This book has already got me, guys. It's not too bad so far, but I do have a Discord for this book and I haven't muted the notifications yet, so I am seeing a little bit of information from the spoiler chat, which I don't mind about actually, because I'm being warned about the animal stuff and I don't like spoilers at all. But if it is something to do with animals like that, then I do like to be prepared going into it, because it is like pretty much the only thing that bothers me in books. So I'm happy that I know that these things are coming. As for how I'm enjoying it so far, I am actually enjoying it a lot. The writing is different than I expected. It is a lot more flowery than I expected and I'm finding it very atmospheric. Every time I pick this up, it does take me a couple of pages to get into the story, because in a lot of ways I feel like the writing in this is reminiscent of modern classics, but as soon as those couple of pages have passed, I am getting sucked into the story and really enjoying it. So I am going to go and get in bed and read some more of this. It is just going on for 10 p.m, so I have a little bit of time before I'm going to sleep. I had a late night and got up at a reasonable time today, so I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm looking forward to having quite a long sleep tonight. But I do want to probably get to at least around page 100 in that, maybe a little bit further, and then finish that up next week. So that is about it for this week's reading vlog. I hope you have enjoyed it. It is a little bit of a different one, really, a little bit more varied in its content, so I hope you liked it. If you made it this far, please don't forget to like this vlog if you did like it, and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.